नमस्कार नमस्कार नमस्कार। मेरा नाम है राजीव कुमार बजाज यानी आरकेबी और मैं हूं इस वक्त एडवोकेट प्रदीप नामबियार जी के साथ। प्रदीप जी नमस्कार।
नमस्कार सर, नमस्कार।
और हम दोनों हैं कहां पर? नेशन नाउ पर। और नेशन नाउ कहां है? हमेशा आपके साथ। आप सबको जय हिंद, जय महाराष्ट्र, जय भवानी, जय शिवाजी, वंदे मातरम।
वंदे मातरम।
जय भारत, जय भारत। I love that name.
Yes, yes, yes.
I absolutely love the fact that we are now going to be calling ourselves Bharat. India is fine. I love India too, but that was a name given by the Greeks and later on by other colonialists. And the Indian mindset perhaps is a colonial hangover. I believe that at the end of the day, you have to be what you are, not what other people make you out to be. And we'll of course talk about G20. We will talk about G20 in just a little while. I know our chaps are very eager to show all the footage they've got from Delhi, which is nice. But Pradeep ji, Delhi Declaration, fantastic, great work by everybody.
Exactly, sir.
Our friend अमिताभ कांत साहब, जो एक जमाने में, पता नहीं आपको याद है कि नहीं प्रदीप जी, OSD हुआ करते थे मिनिस्टर ऑफ स्टेट फॉर होम MM जेकब साहब के।
यस 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 यस।
और उसके बाद वो बने CEO ऑफ द कैननौर एयरपोर्ट, इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट उन्होंने बनाया साहब केरला में बाय पब्लिक फाइनेंसिंग।
यस यस।
I think that's the man who is the G20 Sherpa. I think he and his team and the entire team of diplomats from the government of India, government of Bharat, needs to be congratulated. You know, they've actually worked out a consensus on the Russia-Ukraine conflict. I mean, that's remarkable.
Yes, yes.
That is brilliant. I mean, the entire credit goes to Mr. Modi. मतलब ये पूरा का पूरा श्रेय जाता है मोदी साहब को। आज तक कभी ऐसा नहीं हुआ किसी भी इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस पर कहीं पर भी कि रशिया यूक्रेन कॉन्फ्लिक्ट के ऊपर भी जो रशियन फॉरेन मिनिस्टर हैं लावरोव साहब और जो अमेरिकन प्रेसिडेंट है जो बाइडेन साहब एक ही भाषा बोल रहे हैं। मतलब अमेजिंग स्टफ, एब्सोल्युटली अमेजिंग। वी I mean, this is, जितना भी इसकी तारीफ की जाए वो कम है, मुझको ऐसा लगता है।
Consensus, to achieve a consensus, total consensus, that's a great achievement in itself.
And fantastic.
The Delhi Declaration, G20.
Let's ask Mr. Abhishek Mishra. Mr. Abhishek Mishra is with us from the BJP. Abhishek Mishra साहब नमस्कार। I think we haven't got. Can the production team find out what's wrong with the voice? Why am I not hearing Mr. Abhishek Mishra, who's wearing a wonderful colored shirt? Is that a shirt or a kurta? It's really looking beautiful. What is that, by the way? Is that a shirt or a kurta? It's a kurta. Really beautiful. Yeah. Wow, lovely, absolutely lovely. Really suits you.
Thank you.
Really suits you. Abhishek Mishra साहब, तो आज तो मतलब कमाल ही हो गया। कंसेंसस यूक्रेन रशिया कॉन्फ्लिक्ट के पॉइंट की वर्डिंग के ऊपर भी, उस शब्दावली के ऊपर भी कंसेंसस। माय गॉड, दैट इज ब्रिलियंट। एंड दैट टू लुक एट द पीपल हु हैव एंडोर्स्ड इट, जस्ट अबाउट एवरीबडी। और तो और छोड़िए, अगर आप दिल्ली डिक्लेरेशन का पॉइंट नंबर 11 और 12 देखें, वहां पर वी हैव आल्सो थैंक टर्की। तुर्की और यूनाइटेड नेशंस के बीच में जो एक करार हुआ जिसकी वजह से with regard to the food transport, that is wheat and grain transport from the Black Sea ports, even that has been worded in such a way that it has been endorsed by everybody. So brilliant stuff. Your thoughts, Abhishek Mishra ji, बताएं।
The Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji had given a very strategic thought for the G20 summit. It was one earth, one world, one family. Now, the entire focus of our nation while doing the G20 the declaration, it was that it should be a human-centric development. So on that message, that we as a global community have to be united, and the development, the path forward has to be human-centric, and that message has been accepted by all nations of G20. So today, if we have been able to build a consensus on Russia and Ukraine, it is only because all the nations, part of G20, they understood that India's intent is right. India's intent is to build a global community, a shared future where all nations are benefited, because we treat the world as one. And because our main thrust that it is not only about economic development, it is not only about becoming a military power, it is about a human centric developmental path. And that is why today Russia as well as the United States have agreed to the spirit of Narendra Modi ji and have come together, and the whole world was speculating. Most of the people were of the view that it would be very difficult to build a consensus because Russia, China will not agree. But because the message of India was so strong, because the leadership of Prime Minister is it is so vibrant, that all the nations had to come together, and this is a victory for India. This is a victory for Bharat. It is a victory of our culture, our civilization. It is a victory for the Prime Minister. It is a victory of the people of India. And when all the leaders of the world had come to Delhi, they all agreed to the eternal spirit of India, the spirit of oneness. And they came to a conclusion, and the war, the Russia-Ukraine war, which is the biggest problem in today's world, we have at least managed to find the path forward. The path forward will be consensus. Path forward will be by coming for a dialogue and coming together. And today, if Russia and America can come together for a declaration, it proves that peace will be. It is going to happen very soon, and
Fantastic.
this is a very welcome step for the whole world.
And here we must congratulate the foreign minister as well, Mr. S. Jaishankar, and his entire team, and the manner in which they work. They worked individually with every country. They worked individually with the delegations accompanying all the leaders. और यहाँ पे लावरोव साहब जो हैं हमारे फॉरेन मिनिस्टर रशिया के, and Joe Biden's team, they've all earlier they were not even talking to each other, but I believe all these guys got together, got them on the same page, and did it, which is absolutely fantastic. And I believe Mr. Modi thanked Mr. Rishi Sunak also, the British Prime Minister, where he also played a very stellar role in just getting this done. Because earlier, as you rightly said, Abhishek Mishra ji ने बोला, प्रदीप जी बिल्कुल ठीक बोला कि पहले ऐसे लग रहा था कि G20 का कोई जॉइंट स्टेटमेंट होगा ही नहीं. यहाँ तक ये तक बात आ गई थी कि इस बार कोई स्टेटमेंट नहीं आएगी, because how will people agree? But this is amazing. We've got everybody to agree. The Saudi Arabian delegation that is led by the Crown Prince himself, MBS, they've agreed to everything. The Italian Prime Minister has agreed. The Canadians have agreed. The French have agreed. The French agreeing. Now that is something which is fantastic, because the French usually don't agree with anything that anybody does. But they agree with Mr. Modi, which is wow. And in spite of the fact that Mr. Vladimir Putin is not here, Mr. Xi Jinping is not here, Mr. Vladimir Putin is not here for very, very genuine concerns, Mr. Xi Jinping is not here for whatever reason, but in spite of all that, you know, the fact that a Delhi declaration has come out, and we've called a sustainable development group, which will continue to work even after this summit is over. और तीसरी चीज़ है कि तकरीबन 100 शहरों में अलग अलग जगह पर G20 के फंक्शंस किए गए, बाकी सब चीज़ें की गई. दिस हैज बिन द लार्जेस्ट, द बिगेस्ट G20 मीटिंग एवर. तो अभिषेक मिश्रा जी, हाउ डू वी सस्टेन दिस? अब इसके आगे क्या, ये तो हो गया, चलिए अब नाउ द एक्सपेक्टेशंस ऑफ पीपल आर गोइंग टू बी ह्यूज. अपेक्षाएं बहुत बढ़ जाएंगी मोदी जी से और भारत से. उसमें अब क्या करेंगे हम लोग, अभिषेक जी?
Yeah, see, the world is going towards all. It's not only about a single superpower, the United States. Now we, as
it's a multipolar world. Yes,
so it's a multipolar world, and we as a nation today are the leaders of the global South. The developing nations like India, we are playing a monumental role on the global stage, and we are deciding that the path forward is a path where there will be human-centric approach, where peace will be paramount, where prosperity will be given. Even see, today African Union has joined the G20.
At the invitation of Mr. Modi.
Yes,
and
yes.
Mr. Modi's work. Yes.
That the continent, which was called a dark continent, today has come into light. It is the leadership of India which has brought Africa into the G20. G20 was an exclusive place where the top economies would be there. Today, Africa becoming a part, which means we have, see, in Bharat as a country, after independence, we were all the former nations which were slaves, we should all have development. And by by bringing our African people along, African nations along, African society along. We have given a message for the future of the world. The future of the world will not be only of the Western countries, the European power. It will be of the Asian countries, the African countries. And Narendra Modi ji, he will be remembered forever for this. He will be remembered forever for providing development to the countries which are still to be developed, which are developing. And this great, I think he should be saluted. The whole world.
Yes, Abhishek Mishra ji, you know what Mr. Modi said, one earth, one family, one future. That's what he said. Bharat, Vishwaguru, by the way of G20, the Delhi Declaration, and then consensus, absolute consensus. BJP calls it economic integration between India, West Asia and Europe. They say that India, this G20, India has created a corridor with its India, Middle East and Europe. You're talking about huge business opportunities. And the World Economic Forum president has said India is going to be a $10 trillion economy very soon, this decade itself. But the Congress has objections. Jairam Ramesh today issued a press release saying Mr. Modi is not one man, what you call, one, the entire definition of Vishwaguru, he said one earth, one family, one future. Jairam Ramesh says one man, one government and one business group. He says, Mr. Modi, in 2014 and 2018, you had in your agenda placed before the entire G20, eliminate safe havens of economic offenders, extradite the economic offenders. Today, none of them has taken place. Jairam Ramesh, Abhishek Mishra ji, ye kehna hai. We believe it's a fantastic success. G20, Delhi is a fantastic success. But the Congress has pulled. They said, Mr. Modi, you have not implemented whatever you said in 2014 and 2018. How do you see it, Abhishek Mishra ji?
The Congress party, Jairam Ramesh, they have become against the nation itself. Today, it is the victory of Bharat as a country. Today is a victory of the entire population of India. It is not about Bharatiya Janata Party. On a day wherein the global nations, their leaders have come together and they have accepted the leadership of our country, when they have issued a joint declaration which gives a message forward for the whole world, and wherein the whole world today is saluting the leadership of our nation, because we have built a consensus on the Russia-Ukraine war which nobody could do till today. On such a day, to speak against the country, to speak against the government, because today it is not a BJP function, it is a function of Bharat as a country, it is a function where the global leaders have come, and today we have succeeded in showing that India can lead the world, Bharat can lead the world. And on such a day to speak against Prime Minister, government, that shows the eternally pessimistic, defeatist mentality of the Congress party. Definitely, the people of Bharat will come together and teach this Congress party a lesson. They are again and again doing activities which definitely can be considered not in the interest of the nation. Why are they doing anti-national activities? I am not aware. When the entire world has accepted the spirit of India, Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, one world, one earth, one family. Congress party says one government, one man. What is all this? What is this? If Sergei Lavrov and Joe Biden can come to a conclusion because of Prime Minister Modi ji, Jairam Ramesh must, in the spirit of fairness, at least appreciate that. Yes, you criticize the Bharatiya Janata Party, but today, when the government of Bharat has managed to do a Delhi declaration which the whole world is saluting, it can give a message of peace to the whole world, it can give a solution to the conflict of the Russia-Ukraine war. On such a day for the Congress party and Jairam Ramesh to criticize the government, criticize Modi ji, criticize the BJP, that eternally shows that they are just doing politics. They have lost all sense. That they are against the nation, and this is wrong for the country.
Yeah, I want to tell you, Abhishek Mishra ji, I'll tell you why. This is कल से जब G20 शुरू हुआ है, राहुल गांधी was in Brussels, Belgium. कल से राहुल गांधी ने शुरू किया कि लोकतंत्र खतरे में. He says democracy is in danger. Institutions are being targeted by the BJP, and the Congress will fight to freeze these institutions. Congress will fight to protect democracy. That's what he said. But as you said, the World Economic Forum president said that India is going to be a $10 trillion economy in this particular decade itself. And he says why? He says after COVID, the demand for commodities has reduced and the demand for service industry has increased. And he says India is a big exporter of services. That's what he said. I mean, he's given reason also why India will be a $10 trillion economy. You got this going on, G20 super success, all world leaders, including economic forums, praising India. You got Rahul Gandhi telling Loktantra khatre mein hai, BJP is targeting institutions, Congress will work towards freeing these institutions and democracy. How do you see it, Abhishek Mishra ji?
See, Rahul Gandhi is a non-serious politician. When the nation is hosting G20, he is going abroad and trying to tarnish the image of the country. This act itself proves that in his mind, power and politics is above everything else. Otherwise, he would have had the sense that when G20 summit is going on, at least at that time, not to, whatever poison he has in his mind, not to bring that out. But Rahul Gandhi, during G20 summit, when our nation is hosting the global leaders and trying to create a consensus for the whole world, at this time for Rahul Gandhi to go to Europe and speak against our nation, Bharat, that proves that Rahul Gandhi only is interested in politics. He has no spirit of nation building. He has no spirit of what our nation is doing, the leadership for the world. He just wants at any cost to speak bad about the country, bad about the our party in power, and that itself shows there is some psychological issue with this man, Mr. Rahul Gandhi.
अभिषेक मिश्रा जी, यहाँ पर एक छोटी सी बात है, जैसे it's not a very big thing, but all the same, one must ask this. As far as the Congress is concerned, एक और criticism कांग्रेस की तरफ से ये आया है कि भाई जब नॉन अलाइन मूवमेंट होती थी, उसका कन्वेंशन दिल्ली में कई बार हुआ है, एटलीस्ट आई हैव अटेंडेड 2 of them, और उसके अलावा कॉमनवेल्थ हेड्स ऑफ गवर्नमेंट मीटिंग में जो है, उसमें जो प्रेसिडेंट का जो डिनर होता था, बैंक्वेट जो होता था, उसमें लीडर ऑफ द ऑपोजिशन को भी या प्रोमिनेंट लीडर ऑफ द ऑपोजिशन को भी बुलाया जाता था. ये बात बिल्कुल ठीक है. अटल जी को कई बार बुलाया गया, LK अडवाणी जी को कई बार इनवाइट किया गया, वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह. इस बार इतनी बड़ी चीज हो रही है टू शोकेस आवर डेमोक्रेसी, परहैप्स द लीडर ऑफ द ऑपोजिशन इन इंडिया, मे बी मिस्टर खड़गे और मे बी मिसेस सोनिया गांधी कुड हैव बीन इनवाइटेड. योर थॉट्स ऑन दैट, Abhishek Mishra ji?
See, these are issues of administration and people who are part of the deciding the menu, protocol,
Yes.
etc.
Yes.
Invites. So this is a technical aspect which I cannot, as a BJP spokesperson, I cannot speak on
It's
this.
a matter of protocol. It all depends upon what is there, what is not. I agree with you.
So that's what I'm saying. This is a pure.
No, but all the same, I had to ask the question.
I cannot comment on this.
ये भाई ये सवाल पूछना लाजमी था मेरे लिए, क्योंकि कांग्रेस की तरफ से सवाल आया है.
आप सीधी बात है, मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि this is a pure matter.
I agree with you. There is no disagreement here. There is no disagreement here. लेकिन एक चीज बिल्कुल दुरुस्त है कि इसके बाद अब प्रॉब्लम क्या होने वाली है मेरी समझ में. देखिए साहब, जो हम लोगों ने ये कहा है कि पेरिस एग्रीमेंट को वी विल ट्राई एंड मीट. अब इंडिया, दैट इज भारत, वी हैव फुलफिल्ड ऑल आवर कमिटमेंट्स बिफोर टाइम. कार्बन एमिशन एक जो कमिटमेंट हमारी थी पेरिस एग्रीमेंट के बाद, वो हम लोगों ने फुलफिल कर दी है. ना यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका, यूके, फ्रांस, कनाडा, ऑल दीज पीपल हैव नॉट फुलफिल्ड इट. जितने डेवलप्ड नेशंस हैं, दे हैव नॉट फुलफिल्ड all the promises that they made in the Paris Agreement over carbon emissions. And that is what makes the invitation to the African Union to join the G20 very, very significant. Because as now everybody says, why should the developing countries have to pay for all the irresponsibility shown by the developed nations? So over there again, Mr. Modi's voice is being heard all over the world.
See, India is a responsible country. We as a nation are fulfilling all our global, whatever task, whatever, plans.
Whatever commitment we have made, yes.
Now the main thing is happening is that there are countries like our neighboring country. Beijing is not even fulfilling any of its commitments.
No, they're not. They're not even releasing data.
That's what I'm saying. So Beijing, the government in, Xi Jinping is an irresponsible leader. His country is irresponsible. We are irresponsible. That is why when the G20 summit was held here, that the whole world came to a consensus, because India has earned that, in the whole global community. And this is a nation which fulfills its whatever it says. So we have earned the respect of the global community.
Yes.
I think in the future we will see that Modi ji has given that India will be a developed country. we will lead the world. This century will be ours. It is all going in that same direction. And with regards to the all the things you said, I totally agree that we today India is poised to be the after US we will be the second most powerful nation, I think, in around 10 to 15 years in the world.
No, we already are. On that, there is no doubt. We are already the second most powerful democracy in the world. Let's be very, very clear. China is not a democracy by any stretch of the imagination. Even though they call themselves the Democratic Republic of China and so on and so forth. I mean, they have a very strange view of democracy. They say you have a multi-party system, we have a single-party system, but we are a democracy. मतलब अजीबोगरीब मसला है वहाँ पर। लेकिन चलिए ये तो G20 की बात हो गई, अभी भी G20 चल ही रहा है। उसके पहले जो बाइडेन साहब यहाँ पर आए, एक दिन पहले आ गए, 2 दिन पहले आ गए, जो बाइलैटरल टॉक्स हुई यूएसए और इंडिया के बीच में, there are lots and lots of contentious issues, I believe, which have been solved, which have been resolved, including the matter of visas and including a couple of other things which were sticking points with regard to transfer of technology, with regard to the MOU which had been signed between Mr. Biden and Mr. Modi when he had gone over there to the US, with regard to the development of the stealth fighter engine over here in India. All that, I believe, has been resolved. That is what we are hearing. What are you hearing, Mr. Mishra?
See, the diplomatic, the world, it's very clear that US and our country, we have developed such a strategic partnership wherein all the issues, military cooperation, economic cooperation are being discussed in detail, and we have come to solutions. And definitely, see, we are part of the larger alliance as well. So US, India, Japan, Australia, UK, we are all now today partners for a developing world, for a world where there is peace for all and prosperity for all. So between the United States and India, as two large democracies of the world, as two countries where there is freedom, where there is the rule of law, we have decided that we have to shape the future of the world.
Yes.
And that's why on all important matters, economic matters, military matters, we have come to almost an understanding on most of the issues. And that is why, if you understand that in this Delhi declaration, this G20 which happened in New Delhi, United States played a major role in ensuring that this declaration, this summit becomes a success. US was determined that our country should lead the world. They have ensured that all contentious issues should be solved. And that is a great victory for India.
But this is fantastic. I tell you what, Mr. Mishra, Pradeep ji, I think we have forgotten that particular point. This is very, very important. Listen, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this. We have a lot of people, who are totally pro-left, pro-Congress and so on and so forth. I know I'm going to be called a Bhakt again. I'm going to be called a khaki chaddi again. And incidentally, I am wearing khaki underwear today, so there is no problem. But all I'm trying to say is this. Mr. Modi goes to Jakarta, attends the ASEAN summit, talks to everybody over there, and again arrives at a consensus with all the ASEAN nations, along with Kamala Harris, who is the Vice President of the United States, and immediately comes back and conducts the G20 meeting over here, which is amazing. I mean, look at the energy of the man. Where does he find this much of energy from? I mean, does he sleep? I don't think he ever sleeps. आप देखिए तो सही, मतलब सीधा अभी जकार्ता से आए हैं और फटाफट मतलब दिल्ली में आकर के उन्होंने जो बाइडेन के साथ बायलैटरल मीटिंग करी, उसके बाद 2 और बायलैटरल्स हुई, ऋषि सुनाक के साथ एक और बायलैटरल हुआ, उसके बाद 2 और देश हैं उनके साथ हुआ, और and he met the Italian Prime Minister. This is amazing. Where does he find the energy from? What is the inner party gossip that you get? How does Mr. Modi work so hard?
It is very clear. Our Prime Minister has the love for the people of India, for Bharat, and he is determined to serve the motherland. And that spirit of service, it gives him the vitality to work 24 hours a day. He has never taken an off day. 365 days a year he's working for the nation, and because he sees only one goal, the goal of developed country. He sees only one thing, that the entire nation must be developed, and he wants to make our nation a
Abhishek Mishra ji, G20 presidency, G20 presidency, the BJP, Mr. Modi has made India proud. When he says, the BJP says 220 meetings, 60 cities, 28 states, 8 union territories, 1 lakh participants, 125 nationalities, 1.5 crore people are getting directly involved in this entire G20 business. Now that's an achievement in itself. Every function that he has here, he is turning it to the benefit of the people of Bharat. That's what Mr. Modi's ultimate objective. And the corridor that we talked about today and $10 trillion economy, these are great things told by individual entities who are not aligned to Mr. Modi. They have said, look the way the giant leap that India is making. But at the same time, the Congress says, the Indian National Congress, they say 74% of the people can't afford nutritious food. That is what the Congress says. They say the thali has become 65% more expensive. They talk about food, they talk about 74% of the people can't have a nutritious meal. How do you see this kind of disparity? Here you see success, ultimate, up the horizon, and then Congress talks about things right, that defeats the entire purpose. They say we are zero. How do you see it, Abhishek ji?
No, I have already given the answer to this, that the Congress party has become a negative party. Their only priority seems to be to speak against anything good happening in this country. They do not understand that they, as a responsible party, must also stand with the nation when good things have been done for the, at the global stage. Today, when there is a declaration happening which has united the whole earth, where the whole world is saluting the leadership of our country, for the Congress party to speak against our nation, to speak against what we are doing as a government, it shows that their only priority, as I have already said for Rahul Gandhi also, their only priority is, power politics. They somehow are desperate to attain power. They have no respect that we as a country are hosting a global summit where we are creating a consensus for world peace, where we are uniting the countries of the world. And at such a crucial moment, if the Congress party can only come up with negativity, you understand, as a nation, they also should understand that there are times where you don't spread your poison. Yes, Congress has poison. It has desperation for power. But this was not the moment, this is not the opportunity, this is not the time to speak against the Prime Minister.
If we go a little bit 2 days back, before this entire summit, Sonia Gandhi entered the entire, political battlefield. Sonia Gandhi, we're coming out of this topic, Sonia Gandhi writes to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He says, she said, what is the agenda of the special parliamentary session that you had? We want to know the agenda. You have not told us the agenda. That is what Sonia Gandhi said. The rare moments that she comes out and lashes Prime Minister Modi or the BJP. She said, if you don't have an agenda, please include this agenda. She writes a letter. She's saying price rise is an agenda. Unemployment is an agenda. Falling incomes are agenda. Farmers' woes is an agenda. MSMEs that are shutting down is an agenda. Clean sheet being given to China on the border is an agenda. Modani scam is an agenda. Manipur constitutional breakdown is an agenda. Sonia Gandhi is telling the BJP and Prime Minister Modi that if you don't have an agenda for the special parliament session, there should be an agenda. How do you react to this, Abhishek Mishra ji?
See, Sonia Gandhi ji, with all respect, she's a senior leader of the country. What is her agenda? Her agenda was 2G scam. Her agenda was, ministers have been sacked when her UPA government was in power. At that time, why was she not writing letters to those ministers and Prime Minister Manmohan Singh that why are you doing so much corruption? Why at that time the Congress party, in every ministry, every department, the loot was happening in the country? So Sonia Gandhi ji, she's a respected senior leader of the country, but the truth, I don't want to, this is not the time, but she should self-reflect. When her government was in power, the nation was being looted, and that is why the whole country, Bharat, became united under the leadership of our Prime Minister Modi ji. So instead of speaking about our agenda, she, because of her hatred for the BJP and because of the good work we are doing, she should self-respect and find out what was the agenda, what is the agenda of the Congress party for this country.
No, but Abhishek Mishra ji, I think that you're being slightly unfair over here, because the fact remains that because the agenda has not been announced, so the opposition parties also have a right to know exactly what is the agenda. I suppose 2 days before the session starts, there will be the regular meeting between the Speaker of the Lok Sabha and the chairman
Yes.
of the Rajya Sabha, with all the opposition leaders as well, and then I think everything will be made clear, which is all right. I mean, this is okay as far as the the political back and forth is concerned. That's what makes us a democracy, which is great. But one final word. In fact, even Dr. Manmohan Singh has praised India's stand on Russia and Ukraine. So that's absolutely great. Dr. Manmohan Singh, twice Prime Minister, has actually praised the Modi government stand on Russia and Ukraine. He said that that is the best thing that could have happened, so which is fantastic. Right, thank you so much, Abhishek Mishra ji. It's been a great pleasure talking to you, and congratulations once again for the Delhi Declaration. Congratulations to the whole of Bharat. Bharat that was India, or as Bharat that is India, I don't know. It is India which is Bharat, that's what the constitution says. So now it is Bharat that was India. Is that it? Well, thank you so much. Namaskar.
Pranam.
Namaskar. Vande Mataram.
Vande Mataram.
But that was nice. Dr. Manmohan Singh actually showing great